Sannati in northern Karnataka, in the Kalaburgi district of northern Karnataka, is the site of two important Ashokan constructions. Ashoka, according to Buddhist traditions, came down to South India towards the end of his life and he created two stupas in the memory of Shakyamuni, the Buddha. But unfortunately, these important archaeological and historical sites are now under closure and it is not open to the public. Though it was initially rescued and recovered by the Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, unfortunately, in the last 20 years, it is under closure and it is not open to the people and the world. This world heritage of Ashoka and Buddhism in India and South Asia, it is unknown to the world and it is locked down before the people. It's high time that ASI and the Indian government and the people of Karnataka realize this great tradition and this world heritage, and it must be acknowledged as part of the World Heritage by UNESCO and other important international agencies. Ashoka came here and created two stupas here on the banks of this Bhima river. And today we can see this great barrage on the Bhima river and the bridge here. And just on the northern side of the river, we have these huge relics and the archaeological sites. And an Ashokan edict was also recovered from here. The important edict of Ashoka, Sannati edict, talking about these Chaitya Viharas and stupas and the importance of Dharma, which he acknowledged as his constitution. So this is recorded in Dharma Lipi or Ashokan Brahmi, and also a portrait relief of Ashoka was also recovered from the panels of the old stupa here. The early Chalukyans have extended the stupa. It was originally an Ashokan construction, and early Chalukyans, they have extended it and elaborated it and created further monuments along with it. So this edict of Ashoka was recovered from the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Kali temple here, the Hindu temple called Chandralamba temple in 1980s. It must be brought to public attention and the attention of the world. We are in Karnataka, in Sannati by the Bhima river. The river Bhima flows here, and barrage and regulator cum bridge at Sannati. Sannati bridge is also visible there. So here we have the unique modern contemporary sculptural representation of Ashoka. This statue represents Ashoka Maurya, the greatest emperor of India, who is known throughout the world as the great conservationist and also the great propagator of the Dharma or the ethical principles of the Buddha. So Ashoka, as an enlightened Buddhist monk, is represented here in this statue. This is done by the people because this is the site of the great Mahastupa, the ancient stupa that he built here called Kanagana Halli. Kanagana Halli stupa and also the Sannati stupa. The stupas are also recreated in modern form by the people here. Behind me you can see that, and here is a recreation of the great Ashokan pillar, the great pillar resembling the Saranath pillar. Perhaps here also that kind of a huge pillar was here with lion capital. The capital represents the four-headed lions, which is the official emblem of the Indian state, which represents the Shakya Simha and his voice, the lion voice, the lion roar of the Shakya Simha going to the four corners of the world. That is emblematically, iconically represented by Ashoka in the four-headed lions there. And also above that you have the Ashokan wheel of ethics, the Dhamma Chakra in Pali. That's also there, which is again another key official symbol of the Indian Republic. So here it is recreated by the people, the Dalit Bahujans, the outcasts of India. They have recreated it all here, and also they have created the two little modern stupas to actually immortalize the memory of the Kanaganahalli Mahavihara and the Adholoka Mahachaitya Vihara, the Chaitya and Vihara, the great Buddhist Vihara of the netherworld of South India. So Ashoka has travelled thrice to South India towards the end of his life and built this place. And the third time, according to Buddhist sources and texts, Ashoka has never returned from here, and he had his last time, or he left his life here in Kanaganahalli, the great Vihara of South India, the netherworld. So this is a great legacy of India. This is a world heritage. The world must acknowledge it, and this must be developed, and this must be exposed to the whole world, and the whole world must come here to see this Ashokan great Buddhist legacy of India and South India and Karnataka in particular, which is not adequately and sufficiently exposed to the open to the people today. We are standing by the river Bhima river here, and this is a temple called Chandralamba temple, a Kali temple, Chandralamba temple here. And this is an ancient archaeological site also. This is close to the Kanaganahalli Maha Chaitya and Vihara created by the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka in BC 3rd century. Ashoka travelled to South India 3 times, and he came here thrice and created this great stupa, the stupa of the netherworld, Adholoka Mahachaitya stupa. And also his edict is still there, still preserved by Archaeological Survey of India. So it is from this temple that in 1980s, when there was a reconstruction, the Ashokan Dhamma Lipi, the Dhamma script, the Brahmi script, Ashokan Brahmi script in Pali language, that was revealed from this temple. So when the temple renovation was going on, some parts were disclosed, and from the underneath of the current sanctum sanctorum, that Ashokan inscription and the portrait relief of Ashoka with his queen, that was exposed and recovered from this site. Unfortunately, it is still there in the nearby Kanaganahalli site near the Ashokan stupa. It is there in the Archaeological Survey of India site museum, but unfortunately from the 2000 onwards, for the last 20 years, it is under locker or a kind of confidential custody. Visitors are not allowed, and people are not educated about the historic legacy and the greater cultural significance of this place by the Bhima river, Kanaganahalli Mahavihara, the Ashokan site, and also this important, the ancient Buddhist legacy of this particular Hindu temple. So it must be open to the public. Unfortunately, photography and videography and greater education on the Ashokan site is under check here, and it must change. This must become a World Heritage Site, the legacy of the Buddha, because Ashoka has followed the footprints of the Buddha, and he has travelled to various corners of South Asia and created all those 84,000 and more stupas and chaityas and stambhas and edicts. He has written his edicts. The edict is still there in the Kanaganahalli site. So this must be exposed to the world, and it must become part of a World Heritage. And this is actually a World Heritage Site by the Bhima river in Sannati, in Karnataka, in northernmost part of Karnataka.